Today's patio chat is being brought to you locally by Westridge Furniture in Delphus. See it all at your finer outdoor furniture store.
Well, there's been some new laws, some law changes, and Crime Victim Services has to kind of navigate through these. We're going to learn more about them. Joining us today, she is the Executive Director of Crime Victim Services, Amy Weaker-Bailiff. And thanks for coming, Amy.
Thank you, Holly. It's nice to be outside.
Yeah, it is nice outside, isn't it? So good stuff. All right, so occasionally you get these new House bills, these laws, and sometimes they affect you in the way you guys have to do stuff. So let's first start with Erin's law and tell us, first of all, what's that all about?
Yeah, so this law went into effect this year, and it will impact schools for this current school year, 2023-2024. And what it entails is requiring schools in Ohio to provide age-appropriate child sexual abuse prevention education. That's for our elementary students, and then for middle school and high school students, being able to provide prevention education for teen dating violence.
Okay. All right. So is this brand new education in the schools, or they've kind of been doing it and they have to change it?
This is the first time that it's been required. I will tell you that our prevention program has been providing a lot of this type of education in a lot of our local schools, which is wonderful because we're able to just build on that and make sure all those components are met. And the important thing for our program is to be able to sort of provide ongoing training for that. For the youth, we know that one-time messaging doesn't work to change those attitudes and behaviors. So if we can build our youth from elementary through middle school and high school to understand what a healthy relationship looks like, what are the warning signs, how do I intervene positively in a negative situation, we're really helping them to navigate those circumstances.
Right. It kind of sounds like this kind of education will hopefully help them, and so you won't see them as a crime victim later and have to help them through the court system or wherever, right?
Definitely. This type of legislation is working to help the community, helping youth and also helping the educators understand what is child sexual abuse, how can we prevent it, what are the warning signs, and so we can work to reduce those numbers.
Mm-hmm. I guess the schools have to welcome this now, right, since it's law. So do you guys helping out, or are there other avenues that they can get some of this education?
Schools are able to provide, they have leeway in how they provide this. One of the benefits, like I said, of working with our agency is we're in a lot of schools already. We're utilizing an evidence-based curriculum that's helping our youth and has been practiced to show that it's effective.
All right, so another change. It's Marsy's law, right?
Correct.
Tell us about that one.
So that was passed as a constitutional amendment in Ohio in 2017, and now the legislation is making sure that those rights are able to be enforced. There's some expanded provisions, but essentially it's about ensuring that victims know that those rights exist for them and being able to utilize those throughout the criminal justice system. So now, at the first stage of a victimization, at the time that a police are maybe involved in a situation or someone is at the hospital, the victim is able to be informed of what those rights are at that point in time, and they're informed of those rights through every stage in the process. And so they're provided through this legislation automatic rights that are provided to them, but additionally there's certain rights that they can elect into based on their needs as a crime victim and their wishes for participation in the process.
Mm-hmm. So does this mean, police officers and hospitals and some of these frontline people needed to get trained about this, or is this a handout? Here, this is what your rights are.
Great question. It's a little bit of both. So we've been working closely with our criminal justice partners throughout the year. It's been a significant legislation change for everyone involved. Some departments are providing paper copies. Those entities that are paperless, there's some digital components to them, but it's allowing the victim to essentially say, these are the rights I want to use through this process, and then Crime Victim Services provides a lot of that advocacy and support along the way. So that process can be confusing for people, but we're there to provide notification of what those rights are, helping them to be notified of those court hearings, being an advocate for them in court, helping them speak on their behalf, all the things that they're granted, we're there along the way.
All right. Wow. Some interesting changes. Amy, thanks for telling us about it today.
Thank you, Holly.
All right. Don't go away. Nathan Snin with the weather forecast.